Hey y'all, and welcome to today's video. So I am kind of re-filming this video because I'd already tried to film this video once and it started off great, got halfway through, it kind of went off the rails and just wasn't happy with it. However, the eyeshadow palette and look that I did was so beautiful, and in my opinion is the best one that I've actually done on camera for you guys. So I'm gonna do it again so you guys can see it. But yeah, if you all like this video while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you already haven't, do all the things, and let's get into today's video. So I tried to film like just a chit chat, get ready with me type video for you guys. It just didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. It is honestly because I'm just not one of those people who can just sit and talk without having any actual real conversation and to get engaged to keep on talking. Like, I noticed that I sit down, I'm like, oh yeah, I have all these things to talk about, and then I get through them and then I'm just sitting here doing my eyeshadow in silence, forgetting that I'm even filming. So I'm just gonna play with some makeup. I'm gonna talk to you guys as I go through it, and maybe if I get some more subscribers or some interaction on Instagram that I can get some questions and it just be a nice Q&A type video and keep me talking. But today we're just gonna play with some makeup. I have some new stuff here that I'm super excited to use. I have a couple of old things, but to start out, these are the 3 new shades of the Ravie Beauty Effortless Lips. I've not used those yet, and I really wanted to swatch all 3 of them, not just on my hand but on the lips, because I feel like swatches on your hands did not give you a true testament of what the shade looks like when you put it on. And it's crazy how much our skin kind of changes the way that these colors look on us. So we're gonna swatch all 3 of these before we get into the rest of the makeup, because at the end of the video when I do my lipstick, I want to use one of these shades. Here are the 3 new shades swatched on my arm. We have Poppy, we have Peony, and then we have Rose, and that is 3 swipes of each shade. This is the shade Peony. Here is the shade Poppy. Here is the shade Rose. So I think out of the 3 new lippies, I want to say that Peony is definitely the favorite, but because of the look that I have planned today, I think we're going to end up with Poppy. Now, I know that I told you guys in the video where I shared the first 3 colors of this. Effortless Lips is from Ravie Beauty. If you do not know, Ravie Beauty is owned by Ali Glines. I've just been following her for a very long time on social media, and these lippies have easily become my favorite formula. They are so balmy. I don't feel like they feather like regular lipstick does, especially if you don't want to wear a lip liner. These are such great on-the-go lip balms, and they are super hydrating. So if you guys have not tried these, there are 6 shades now, and they are amazing. Like, I cannot wait for her to come out with more. So I'm going to go ahead and prep the skin. I am just using my Naturium Peptide Moisturizer. This is my everyday moisturizer. I wear it under makeup. I wear it just by itself. It has become my favorite moisturizer. And pardon the breakout, I shaved my face yesterday, but I ended up, instead of doing it just like dry with the razor, I bought some rosehip oil because I saw like somebody else say that it was like much easier and much better for your skin to use the oil to shave. And I've always just done it dry. I've never had any issues, but I was like, you know what, that rosehip oil, I mean, it's good for your skin anyway, but I'm gonna say that is what broke me out, because I've tried to use another brand. I think it is the Ordinary rosehip oil after I got done using Accutane, and it broke me out really bad. I will probably not be using that oil on my face anymore. I'm gonna hydrate the lips a little bit. This is just the Laneige Lowy Lip Balm. This is in the Gummy Bear scent. These balms are good. I don't necessarily think they're worth the money, because I want to say this is around $15 to $18 when you can get the e.l.f. I want to say for like $3.99 or $4, and they are just as good. So don't feel like you need to go out and buy this. Since I'm going to be doing a bolder eye look today, I will be doing that before the rest of the complexion. I'm going to prep the lids with my Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. And this is my Anisa Beauty concealer brush. I'm going to get you guys zoomed in before we start going in with the eyeshadow. Alright, got you guys all up close and personal. So, for the eyeshadow look today, we're actually going to be using a newer palette to me. And this is the Too Faced Italian Spritz palette. When I saw this color story, I was like, okay, I've got to have that. When I opened it, I expected it to have that, like a scent like a lot of the other Too Faced palettes do, and it really doesn't, but it is a beautiful palette. I noticed when I opened this for the first time, I don't know if this is mold, but does anybody else's, if you all have this, does your all's green look like that? Because that almost looks like mold to me. So the first shade that I'm going to go in with is this really light shade right here. Just taking a fluffy brush. This is a BH Cosmetics brush. And I'm just going to put that all over the lid. Since I'm not going to be going into that light color again, I'm just going to go ahead and use the same brush. And we're going to dip into the shade right here. And it's so cute. It's called Holy Cannoli. Do you guys like cannolis? Let me know. I love them. And I'm going to focus this color just all over the lid. And I got a new mirror that I'm using, so let me know how you guys like this view of me doing my makeup. Is it easier for you guys to see? I finally decided that I'm not going to be using a handheld mirror anymore, because obviously I cannot pay attention enough to keep it from blocking the view of the camera. So to whoever that has annoyed, we won't be doing that anymore. So I'm going to take a smaller but fluffy brush, and we're going to go into the shade right here called Feelin' Saucy. I'm going to focus the shade towards the outer corner and then just right into that crease. And if you all have blue eyes and you really want to dabble into the color, I highly recommend orange, because I just think orange eyeshadow looks so pretty with blue eyes. It's been a long time since I've bought a Too Faced palette, but I want to say that one of the last full-size palettes that I got, I thought the quality was kind of like subpar and not really like their original stuff, but this palette is beautiful. The shades that I've used have really just blended so well. I mean, look how easy we have just got these shadows on. They blend like butter. Now for the sparkle on the lid, you guys, God, I love this so much. We are going to go into this shade right here. Oh my gosh, you guys. I mean, And I have really long nails right now, and it's rare that I do long nails, but it is so much harder to put the shadow on the eyelids. I'm going to see if I can just add a little bit more of this to the lid. There we go. Trying to get right in that inner corner. I will say I actually do get more fallout when I'm using the brush versus when I use my fingertip. That is gorgeous. I'm going to zoom y'all in just a little bit more. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken up this outer edge just a little bit. And I'm going to use that same dark shade, but this time I'm going to use an actual packing brush. And I'm just going to pack this color right on the outer corners. That's what I wanted. See how much of a color difference on that outer corner versus that crease, even though it's the same shade? There we go. I'm going to grab that original fluffy brush that I used for that transition shade, and I'm going to dip back into that Holy Cannoli shade, and I'm just going to blend these edges out over here a little bit. The orange is gorgeous. Now we're going to move on to the complexion. I'm going to be using this IT Cosmetics CC cream, and it is their natural matte, and I totally forgot that I had this because I specifically wanted to buy this for the summer because it has SPF 40 in it, but because it's matte I wanted to start with a little more hydrating base. I'm going to use the Too Faced HangoverRX. I used to use this all the time. Off camera I did kind of clean up the fallout under my eyes. This stuff smells so good. It just feels so nice and smoothing. Now I'm going to go in with the CC cream. This is in the shade Fair, and I have only swatched this to make sure it was my color match. I've not actually used this before, so this is going to be a first impression for me. Oh, the consistency is pretty thick. Oh yeah, okay, it is definitely a thicker formula. And I'm just gonna do the one half of the face first. I am gonna be using the Heavenly Luxe brush from IT Cosmetics. Okay, this definitely has a light sunscreen scent to it. The undertone of this looks a little yellow. This is not a tanner shade for me. This is my normal everyday shade, which is why I have a t-shirt on to kind of cover up my shoulders and stuff. I don't know if I just got too much on my skin and I need to work quick, or if it's this brush, but I don't feel like this is blending out very easy. It feels very thick. This almost might be too light to be my normal tanner shade too. It definitely is not drying down. It is pretty tacky, and I even have foundation coming off onto my fingers. And I don't know if that's just because I got too much. I think whenever I do this on the other side, I'm gonna obviously put less foundation, but I think I'm gonna use a little bit more dense of a brush. And honestly, I don't think this is sitting and looking very well on the skin. I'm gonna zoom y'all in a little bit. In this area right here, you can really see my pores and where I have a little bit more of like an uneven texture, and then especially right around the nose right here, it does look pretty cakey. It's definitely not wanting to stick to my nose very well either. To blend this out on the other side, I'm going to use my Haley's foundation brush. This is definitely more of a dense dome brush. I'm going to start with a lot less than I did before and just kind of blend this out a little bit, see how far this bit goes. Even using this brush, the texture of this feels very thick, like it doesn't want to spread. And I don't think my base from that primer, I don't feel like it was too tacky to where the product couldn't glide on. Okay, I don't know what the product is actually doing right there. It's almost like peeled, and I did not have any dry patches on my skin whatsoever, so it is definitely the product doing this. It's either the product itself doing it or a mixture with this primer. It's definitely not wanting to stick on to the nose. I do not like this foundation. It could just be my skin. It just may not be right for me, but I feel like, I mean, even though this is a matte formula, it says pore refining. I'm going to disagree with that 100% because my pores are very accentuated, and it looks awful in this whole area on the face. So if you are anybody who has, well, obviously people with dry skin isn't going to necessarily use a matte foundation product. I really don't have dry skin, and I used quite a bit of this primer, so we are going to keep going. This is a first impressions video. It doesn't feel like it is dried down at all. It feels super thick. It looks like makeup, and every time I touch my skin, I'm getting a little bit of it on the tips of my fingers. I don't even know if I want to continue with this base or not because I have some new products here, and I really don't want to alter the way they wear and apply. Alright, we are back, and just for the sake of the video not being hours long today, I ended up taking off all of my face makeup off camera and then ended up reapplying it. I did, because I wanted to show you guys another matte foundation, I did still use the Hangover primer, but I used the CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made foundation. This is in the shade L20, and this is a beautiful matte foundation. This is labeled as Comfort Matte, and I would definitely agree because this definitely has a little bit more of a natural looking finish than most of your general matte foundations. A lot of matte foundations can look really flat, and I think this one just gives you really that natural, just a little bit of glow that your skin naturally has. This definitely has set down too. I have not had to powder this yet, so yeah, this is a beautiful foundation, and the It Cosmetics, I will definitely be donating that. To apply the foundation, I did use my BK 106 brush too. I meant to tell you that. For concealer, I'm going to use the Caliray Hideaway concealer. This is in the shade Dawn. This is not new to me. I've used this before. This is a beautiful concealer. It definitely leans pink, but it blends out so beautifully with any foundation. It's pretty amazing. I have really got to get me some tanner shades and some foundations because I have not been able to really wear a foundation at all this summer because I really don't have any that match me when I am tan. And somebody recommended just to get a warm shade of the e.l.f., which I did, and it still did not match my skin. So it has been very difficult to find a tanner foundation for me. See, even though that concealer looks really pink, not only in the bottle, but when I first put it down, it just blends out beautifully. And I don't know what kind of voodoo it has in it, but it just does something so wonderful for those under eyes. And of course, blending that out with my BK A506. This concealer is so good. Now, I don't think I'm going to set the face at all. I think this foundation just dried down so perfectly. The only thing I am going to do is I am going to add a little bit of powder just underneath my eyes. I am just using the ColourPop No Filter Loose Setting Powder with my Real Techniques powder brush. I lied. Y'all already know. I gotta take a little bit of powder, put it down here on the nose. Just brush all that excess powder off. The complexion is looking so much better. Is there anybody else watching who actually likes that IT Cosmetics CC cream? Let me know, because I don't know if I just didn't put it on right or what. Alright, now that we got the under eyes and everything all set, we're going to go ahead and finish the eyes. I'm going to take my Rephr 03 and I'm going to go into that dark shade Feelin' Saucy, and I'm going to line that right underneath that waterline. Man, that orange, I just don't know what it is, but I just love orange eyeshadow. I'm going to take this small fluffy brush, dip into that Holy Cannoli shade, and smoke out that lower line just a little bit. Yes. I'm going to take this small flat brush from What's Up Beauty, and we are going to add a pop of color to the inner corner, and we're going to use this shade right here. It is called Capri Fun. And we just pop that right on that inner corner. And you know, I always do kind of a bright inner corner, but I feel like with this look, I just wanted to add like that little pop of neon orange in there. Zoom y'all in just a little bit so you all can see that eye. Now we're going to go in with the BFF Cream Gel Liner from ColourPop. This is in the shade Gobie. That eyeliner was just perfect for this orange look. I need to check ColourPop's website because in the last video I used their cream gel liner, but it was like a green multi-chrome, and if they had a multi-chrome in this orange, that would be bomb. So I got a new bronzer that I'm so excited to try because this is my very first Chantecaille product. Well, I have a bronzer and a blush. The blush I'm not going to be using today, but this is their Sunstone Real Bronzer. It don't really have a name shade, but this is really like my first set of Chantecaille products I have ever got because they are a little on the expensive side. Here is the packaging, and there is what that bronzer looks like. I really hope this isn't gonna lean too orange. You already know my new favorite brush. This is the Rose and Ben. This is their C40. Y'all, this brush is so bomb. Don't know if I'm seeing it or not. It's not as pigmented as I expected it to be, and I don't know if this is one of those where you gotta get through that top layer. Alright, I definitely am starting to see it. This brush just couldn't be more perfect. I don't know, like, where have you been all my life? This has definitely become my favorite bronzer blush, or bronzer brush. Man, these are hard, y'all. Alright, so I think we are good. That's really pretty. Doesn't have a scent or anything like that. Now let's go in with the blush. So originally I had a pink blush picked out, but I think with this eye look, I think we're gonna use the Haus Labs Pomelo Peach today. This is a really nice peachy corally blush shade, and I'm gonna use the BK112. This blush, there is some pigment to it, so I suggest after you tap in, kind of go off on the back of your hand before going right in on the face. And it's mainly just to kind of diffuse that color a little bit. Yes, this was the perfect blush. Yes, this was a good choice. I'm not going to go in with any highlighter today, really, because I don't wear highlighter much anymore anyway. So before we go in with mascara, we are going to go ahead and set the face. And I'm going to use the Caliray Surf Proof Setting Spray. I love this setting spray so much. It's small enough that it like just fits into your hand. And it has just the nicest sprayer. And the scent of this is so nostalgic to me because it smells like the Paul Mitchell Awafui Moisture Mist. And I remember when I was younger, my grandma used to spray that on my hair all the time when I got out of the shower. So yeah, every time I smell it, it kind of reminds me of my grandma. For mascara, I'm not going in with anything new. I'm just going to use the Maybelline Sky High, and this is just in the shade Blackest Black. I did get a new mascara from Benefit, and it was their Bad Gal Bang in the plum color. So I definitely need to pull out a palette with some berry tones because I really want to use that mascara. I really like this mascara. I like the wand. I like the formula. Most of the Maybelline Lash Sensational mascaras are some of my favorites anyway. Their original was my holy grail mascara. And yeah, they just keep getting better and better. I also have this one in the brown, and it's really pretty too. As usual, I got some on the eyelids, so we'll clean that off. Alright, my eyelashes are finally starting to come back, y'all. Let this mascara dry for a little bit. This orange look is so pretty. I knew the first time that I did it, and I was like, okay, well, if I don't post this video, I'm gonna have to redo it because it is absolutely beautiful and it gets me so ready for fall, which the shirt that I got on, guys, y'all can't even see it, but it is so cute. I am ready for spooky season, y'all. So now on to lips, and it is only fitting that we go in with the shade Poppy in the Effortless Lips. This is definitely a more orangey tone color. It is so balmy. It's so hydrating. And speaking of grandma, if you all don't know, y'all need to watch the video on these and let her tell you where she got this inspiration from. That color is so nice, and it is so wearable. Like, orange tones can be super intimidating, but with this eye look, oh, I just feel like this is just perfection. Well, guys, that is it for today's video. How do you all feel about this look? I hope you guys love it because I really just had to film this again. It is so beautiful. So anybody out there with blue eyes, y'all have got to use the orange shadow because it just is a huge compliment with blue eyes. I feel like overall, I mean, some of the items that we used today are items that I already loved. This palette is definitely a new favorite for me. This is actually only the second time that I used this foundation, and even though you all didn't get to see me apply it, definitely did not love the IT Cosmetics, but this one has such a beautiful finish. It is affordable. If you guys want to see this in a video, let me know down below in the description box and I will totally do that for you guys. That is it. I hope everybody enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.